Hey everyone, this is Wendy. I hope you're well. Today is a video all about sewing for beginners. I should get rid of my coffee. Alright, I'm gonna go over a couple of basics that have been highly requested. It's all about getting you guys started on sewing because I know it can be super overwhelming. I've tried my best to put together some tips to get you going. Here are the 4 things that I'm going to cover. 1, a sewing machine review. 2, how to shop for a sewing machine. 3, the beginner sewing supplies that you'll need. And 4, some of my videos that will get you started on how to sew. There is lots to cover, so please keep watching. First, we're going to talk about the sewing machine review. So this guy right here, my friend, is a Brother CP 7500. There's 2 types of sewing machines out there, computerized or mechanical. This guy is computerized. Therefore, it has this LCD screen. It's got over 110 stitch functions. It came with a hard cover. It came with an extendable table. Okay, hang on, I'll get those things. Okay, this is the hard cover that it came with. Not that I use it much because I'm sewing all the time, but here it is, the hard cover. And the extendable table, which I guess also you can tell that I don't use very much since I had to go hunting for it. What? Oh, right, legs. All right. Oh, yes. The benefit of a sewing table is that it can make your space way bigger. It's super helpful for quilting and really large scale projects, but normally I just have this little guy on there. Or you can have it completely removed and then you have the smallest possible table. That would be helpful for sleeves and other parts that are small. This sewing machine also comes with feet, which is the little guy down here. Pop it out. This one's the zipper foot that I have in, but it also has the standard foot, of course, and a quilting foot. I've never put this back on from behind. That's not right. Wow, I did it. There's a couple of features that make this a lot faster to use too. It's got automatic needle threading. It's got this guy here to help you thread your needle. In very small ways, all of these combined make it so much easier to sew quickly. And it's very reliable. I have never had a spaz out because of this machine, which is great. Overall, I'm really happy with this machine. I've had it for 3 years, but it cost $350, so I'm completely aware that this is not in the budget range for all people. Therefore, I have done some internet research and found a really well-priced beginner machine that is highly rated across a lot of different platforms. People always ask me, what sewing machine do I recommend? Honestly, there's a ton that you could use, so I feel bad highlighting just one because really very many machines out there are totally acceptable. But just to give you a place to start, because it's helpful to have something definitive, one that I recommend is the Singer 4423. It's highly rated, and instead of being $350, it's $150. It's mechanical, it's got a really strong frame, it has 23 built-in stitches, it has a clear cover, and it has automatic needle threading and those kind of features that make it faster to use. I've included a link in the description if you want to check out that sewing machine or my machine, and from there you can do your price comparisons and see what's best for you. And that brings us to tips on shopping for a sewing machine. Like I said with the Singer machine, it's a beginner machine, it's highly recommended, and it's $150. So for shopping for beginners, you can definitely get a great machine between $100 to $200. And really what you need it to do is so simple. And this is what I mean when I say there are a lot of sewing machines out there that make the cut. 1, check that it can do straight stitch, zigzag stitch, and backward stitch. Those are the 3 stitches that you would use the most on the machine. For those 3, it's best if you can adjust the stitch length as well as the stitch width, but most machines allow you to do that. The next good thing you want to look for is that it's easy to use. So things like automatic needle threading and different tools that it has to help you load things faster. It's just going to make your life easier. The third thing that I look for is that it has to have a certain amount of weight. Unlike most electronics cameras, the lighter the better. With sewing machines, it's actually not the lighter the better. Cheap, light machines, they don't have the weight to kind of hold still while you're sewing. And this might not matter if you're sewing really lightweight things, but as soon as you get into pants, jackets, curtains, you need a machine that's going to be heavy enough to stay still while you're doing the sewing with the fabric. Make sure when you're looking at the machine, it's got the words sturdy, heavy, steel frame, all those kinds of things that help you know it's going to stay put while you're sewing. If it has straight, zigzag, backward stitch, if it has features to help you sew faster, if it has a nice sturdy body, the last thing that you're going to need in this whole list is to check the reviews. I just go through all the reviews and look for positive experiences, look for people who had customer care concerns, because then you'll know that someone's there to address and help you out if your machine has any troubles. If it's a machine that's been bought by a lot of people and it's really highly reviewed, and on top of that, customer care seems to be okay, honestly, it's gonna be a machine that can handle the work for you. Now that you have a sewing machine, there's a couple more supplies that you'll need before you get started with sewing. And they're all really oddly small things that add up, but but you wouldn't think of them when you're getting started. It'll be things like pin cushions. You're gonna need fabric scissors because normal scissors aren't as good for fabric. You're gonna need measuring tape, tailor's chalk, all these different colors of thread, bobbins. What I did is I assembled a whole list of the things that I use all the time, put them in one link, and they're down below for you. If you check out that link and you grab all the items in there, you'll be good to go. All right, the last thing I wanted to go over in this video is how to get started with sewing. The first thing that I want you to know about sewing is practice and patience makes perfect. The kinds of projects that I make these days, I think I'm only able to make because of mistakes and other trials that I've had in the past. You're gonna sew a stitch, you're gonna realize you sewed it wrong, you're gonna have to rip it out with a seam ripper, then you're gonna have to load it up back into the machine, go over it again. Without patience, it's never gonna get done. So it's definitely an exercise in patience. Character building, as some would like to say. If you're feeling ready to take on that challenge and you wanna start making and owning your own stuff, I do have a beginner sewing video set for you guys. It goes over how to hand sew, how to load up your machine, how to do a straight stitch, and how to do a zigzag stitch. And then in all of those circumstances, I cover what you can make now that you know how to do this skill. I started with hand sewing because that is the most accessible form of sewing. You need it to do buttons, you need it to mend little holes. It's like the most basic, useful part of sewing. How to load a machine, how to do a straight stitch, how to do a zigzag stitch. Those three things together are going to get you started on the majority of things that you will ever have to make. If you want to check out the series, I tried to keep them very short and informative and detailed. Check the description and let me know what you think. I do get a lot of requests to cover really basic beginner sewing tutorials. One of the most standard basic things to make is a pillowcase. To complement this video, I do plan on putting up a pillowcase tutorial next week, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for making it through all my tips. I hope they were helpful for you. I wanted to cover a whole bunch of topics in one and then give some room for you guys to give feedback and comments and ask more questions about what you want to know. So I know this may have been a bit broad and fast and not as high detail as you might have wished, but if you have more specific questions, please comment. I'll do my best to reply to them and keep the conversation going. If you like this video, let me know. You can always follow me on Instagram. It's @withwendy. And finally, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. Click the button below. I have new videos every Wednesday and every Saturday, and you should subscribe if you don't want to miss them. Whoa, I just got crap in my eye. Ow, oh my gosh, ow. Whew, okay. So emotional. One last update is that I have 20 supporters on Patreon, which is crazy. If you're supporting me on Patreon, thank you all so much. If you're still watching my videos, thank you so much. I'm getting closer and closer to my first goal, which is to have a shop running year round. And either way, the financial support to keep all of this running is really exciting to me. So if you want to check out my Patreon page, there's a link below for you too. Links. We also passed 125,000 subscribers. We passed 5 million views. We passed 10,000 on Instagram. I feel really excited and I'm really thankful. That's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do comment if you have more questions and I'm happy to get back to you and help you out. Don't feel super overwhelmed by sewing. I'm a person who has never gone to fashion school. I didn't have any real formal sewing training. Everything I learned is from my mama. If your mama is not in a position where she can teach you how to sew, I will be your mama. That's all for today. I'll see you all Wednesday next week. Bye.